This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I am contrite.
Contrite? Well, come on. Use words I know.
Tom, I'm doing well this week.
Uh-huh.
We're doing another episode.
That's what contrite means.
Yeah, about not the complete guide to everything. That's the name of the show. About what's today's topic?
You always get confused about what's the name of the show and what's the topic. Super Mario Brothers 2, but
not the game. This is part 2.
And also, we did a Super Mario episode, I think, like a few years ago. So technically, it's Super Mario Brothers 3.
Right, but not the game.
But not the
Super
game,
Mario.
which is probably the best Mario game.
I think so. No, you know what?
Mario World?
Odyssey, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, hey. We'll be talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, but seriously, right off the top,
yeah,
I'd like to just read a statement.
Okay.
I prepared. I don't normally like to do this.
You don't normally like to prepare statements?
No, I mean, okay. I don't want you to interrupt with a bunch of like
I'll
juvenile commentary.
Myself.
Thank you. Last week on this podcast, I made some comments I deeply regret and would like to take this opportunity to apologize for them completely and unequivocally. When discussing the flagship franchise of Nintendo Company Limited, I strongly insisted that the correct pronunciation was Super Mario Brothers instead of Super Mario Brothers. It has since been pointed out to me on Reddit and Discord that I was incorrect. And although the people on these platforms who were educating me on this very important issue were extremely rude about it and spoke about me in very hurtful ways, I must accept, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
I can tell.
That in order to get them to stop making fun of me, I need to start referring to the game as Super Mario Brothers instead of Super Mario Brothers. I'm not proud of my past mistakes and pledge to forevermore refer to the famous Italian plumber who travels through pipes to fight a big lizard guy by his correct Christian name, Mario. Please let this serve as a valuable lesson that cyberbullying works. I take full responsibility for my past indiscretions, but would like to point out that I was pressured into pronouncing Mario the wrong way by Tom Reynolds, who threatened me as well as my wife and young son if I did not pronounce it the way he does. Thank you.
So the woke mind virus got to you, Tim.
Tom?
Go woke, go broke.
Mario. It's Mario all the way, always has been, always will be. And, all I can say is I'm sorry.
All I can say is, I mean, we'll be talking about it in this episode because we're moving past the 16-bit 2D era. Well, I guess we're going to talk a little bit about some spin-off games. But I point to Exhibit A. When you turn on Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64.
He says, "It's a me, Mario."
You know what? There was a lot of forensic investigation done on that, on the Discord, on the Reddit, and some compelling points made, Tom.
Yeah.
The compelling points being, they say, no, he says, "It's a me, Mario."
It's a me, Mario.
No, he says, "It's a me, Mario."
Yeah, whatever. Mario.
Let's call the whole thing, Tom.
Yeah.
Or we can just agree to put our differences aside and talk about that plumber that we all love, with the red hat.
Well, and don't forget his brother, Luigi.
I used to think it was Luigi.
Luigi.
When Super Mario Brothers
came
out,
yeah.
Because
it was just like, when you turn on the second controller, there's another guy?
Yeah.
What's this guy's name?
Luigi.
I've never seen that name in my life.
Yeah, I was like 7.
Yeah. You still don't see a lot of I guess you don't see a lot of Marios or Luigis.
I see more Mario. You know, near me, in my neighborhood. There's a
Mario's?
Mario's Pizza, and
Oh,
there's
okay.
a Luigi's Pizza like a couple blocks away.
Oh, wow.
Unaffiliated,
Yeah. Estranged brothers, you think?
probably.
As far as like picking out 2 Italian names, they did a pretty good job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, what do we got? Like, we could also do like
Giuseppe,
Benedetto,
Benedetto,
Corleone.
Sylvester.
You're just thinking of Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, he's Italian, right?
Sylvester Stallone's
He's the Italian
name
stallion.
is Sylvester.
Yeah,
Isn't that weird?
Besides the cat, the only famous Sylvester out there.
Vin Diesel's name, like, take Diesel out of it. It's just Vin.
Yeah, Vincent. He looks like a Vincent. Hey, how
Yeah,
you
he
doing?
does
I'm
look like
Vincent.
He's a bouncer.
I'm Vincent.
Was he a bouncer? He was probably a bouncer at some point, right?
No, because he's actually like kind of tiny.
Hmm.
That's like one of those things where I guess when they were making those Fast and Furious movies, he was on apple crates a lot next to The Rock.
Right.
Well, what's your take on now that Dwayne The Rock Johnson has destroyed the DC universe with a movie? I forgot about that. He was also like, once he got involved with the Fast and Furious, he like had a lot of conflicts with Vin Diesel, and that's why they did like a spin-off with The Rock.
He's
Because they didn't
using
wanna-
his clout
Yeah.
to do what he wants. And
But why-
what he wants is control, Tom.
Yeah, but why not like start your own things? Why does he keep going into like long running franchises and being like, this is now about The Rock?
Well, you're upset that he ruined the Snyderverse,
ruined
I
the
guess.
Snyderverse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're because like I don't know. He was involved in the reboot of that Jumanji, right?
Yeah.
That's you can say that's his.
Yeah, I guess that did well.
I mean, he entered the Fast and the Furious at like their request, right? They're like, everybody thinks you're in these movies, but it's Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Do you want to do? And did Vin Diesel like not do a movie, and they like replaced him with The Rock? Did that happen
no,
to
I
something?
don't think so. I think you know what? I haven't really seen many of those movies. I'm not sure why. I'm sure I probably like them.
You want to know you'd like him?
Why?
It's about family, Tom.
I love family.
You don't. You do.
A
real family.
No,
man.
I think it's like those movies started out kind of I don't know, like almost direct to video. Like there was one that was direct to video, and then they got like bigger and bigger. And I think it was mostly like, oh, now they're big enough that The Rock can be in one.
Yeah. The first one was a pretty big hit, Tom. I saw it in the theater.
Well, I think maybe it was which one was Tokyo Drift?
Probably 3.
Yeah, I think that was when it like maybe fell off a little bit.
Mm.
But people like that one apparently. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna get into trying to watch like all the movies and then see the movie in the theater.
Ooh.
I was thinking about that with this Indiana Jones coming up. I was like, it's a good excuse to like go back. I can't remember the last time I've watched like the original Indiana Jones movies, let alone Crystal Skull. I watch Crystal Skull once a year.
I've never seen Crystal Skull.
Uh-huh.
Would you believe that I watched the Temple of Doom and The Last Crusade for the first time in the last like 18 months?
Wow.
Both of them.
You know what? I'm saying wow, but I don't know if I've ever like sat down and watched them front to back.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember what was it? Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Like being around when I was a kid.
Last Crusade,
Yeah.
I think I've seen all the way through.
I think I had seen like most of the set pieces there, but
Yeah.
I hadn't like watched it front to back.
Yeah.
Good flicks, Tom. Good
Yeah.
flicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Dial of Destiny is destined to be up there alongside it.
I just hope, honestly, like the most recent trailer, it looked like, oh, this might be decent. And that's all I'm hoping for. It doesn't have to stand up with the other ones. Just be like fun and
Also,
don't.
Temple of Doom isn't that good.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a
I bet
while.
it was cool when like if you saw it when you're 8.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, everybody's too
Well,
tough on that
I'm
stuff.
gonna see it again.
Everybody go easy on Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's old now, for God's sakes.
He's old.
I guess Indiana Jones isn't alive in present day anymore.
No.
Yeah. R.I.P. Indiana Jones.
But this one takes place in the 60s.
Yeah, some of their 60s, 70s, maybe even.
Yeah.
60. It's got, I think the last one was in the 50s, the Crystal Skull.
Right.
But anyway, I think I'm going to watch these movies.
Yeah.
I started doing that with John Wick to see John Wick 4.
Yeah. You still haven't seen John Wick 4?
No, because I kind of didn't like John Wick 3 all that much, so
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to, I'm like dreading watching it again. Not dreading,
Was
but
the gun violence not as fun as the gun violence in
yeah,
the first
it was
two
like
movies?
a little too, serious. And it's like, nah, come on, make shooting guys in the head fun again.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Just a lot of gun violence.
Yeah.
As real escapism.
Well, don't you have fantasies about I know you have fantasies about somebody wronging you in such a way that you're justified in doing anything.
No.
No?
You know that?
Yeah.
That's so you just want justification to
So just
you
go
showed
on
me
a
a scene
killing
of
spree.
John Wick one time. You're like, you were like, have you seen John Wick? And I was
Yeah.
just like, no, it's not my thing. I'm not I don't really like.
I guess you don't
violent
like
stuff.
the ballet either. Because it's balletic, Tim.
Thought you were going to say the ballet has lots of gun violence. And guess what? No, I don't like the ballet either. But you showed me a clip and you were like, well, will this change your mind? And it was him. He walked into a place and a guy walked up to him and he shot him twice in the chest and then shot him in the head.
Yeah, it's how you make sure he's dead.
And then another guy walked up to him and he did the same exact thing. And you're like, well, now do you like it?
Well, you should have waited. He was about to do that to 10 other guys. And then maybe he would have been like, yeah, you know what? I do kind of like this.
Yeah. I was going to do that with the Rocky movies.
All those men that he killed, Tim, are unequivocally evil men with no families or friends.
Okay. Tom, if you're breathing on this earth, you're my brother.
Actually, I was, I think it was it John Wick? I was watching some action movie recently where I realized they came up with some reason where it's like, all right, now before we go in the house, everybody put your mask on. And it's like, oh, because they don't want to hire 50 stuntmen. It is just the same stuntmen getting killed over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't get killed for a movie, Tom.
Yeah.
No matter what the paycheck was.
When I was a kid, I used to always think about I wonder if anybody's ever had their arm chopped off for a movie.
And yeah, some people have had their head chopped off in a movie.
willingly had their arm chopped off.
Why?
I don't know, but I was just there must be somebody out there who's that committed, who's yeah, do it for real.
Well, who would let? It's not like the
It would be a foreign
the dirty
film.
thing in Brown Bunny or something, where
It
it's
would
let's
be-
make it real.
Yeah, it has lasting effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're
I
not-
don't think you can
If I
ensure a
told
movie where it's
you-
the guy's cool with it, but we're gonna chop off his arm.
If I told you there's a French movie where a guy really gets his arm chopped off, you'd probably believe me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, it's true.
I would German.
Yeah, there's a German. It was the biggest movie of that year. People loved it. It was a children's movie.
We're talking about Super Mario Brothers this week, Tom. And have you seen the film yet?
No, and I was actually very disappointed. This past weekend was Easter, and I saw my 4-year-old niece. She had already seen it.
What was her review?
She liked it, but she's at that age where she likes every movie.
Yeah.
And I'm asking her questions. I'm asking her serious questions. Do you think it was faithful to the source material?
Right.
And she's like, I like the Koopas. I'm like, that's not what I asked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Do you plan on will you see it in the theater?
Probably not.
Is it because it's for children?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
And honestly, it's also because things come out on digital so quickly. I saw already you can pre-order on the Walmart exclusive Blu-ray and the Amazon it comes in a star, it comes in a mushroom.
Yeah, but you know when those come out, Tom?
When?
June or July.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but it's April. That's a normal turnaround time.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's going to be on digital soon enough. I'll probably just watch it then.
Well, you're a man who's known for your patience. So I guess this isn't surprising.
I haven't really. I'm telling you, going to
You're
see.
also a guy, a man known for his inertia. So
there's also like a lot of I don't know. The last few movies I've seen in the theaters have been crappy Marvel movies. So now I'm just kind of like, ugh, to the whole thing.
Are you going to see the new Guardians movie in the theater?
I will wait to hear what the reviews are. If it has very good reviews, then I'll go see it.
If it has Vin Diesel in it, I'll go see it.
It does have Vin Diesel. He does Groot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to go see it then.
I'll say, like, I liked that second one. That second one is probably a top 5 Marvel movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that the third one's going to be pretty decent, just because it sounds like James Gunn didn't really like have to have it. Like, I'm sure there's going to be like post-credit scenes that, work in other Marvel things, but it sounds like pretty much it was like, I'm going to do one more movie for you guys after you fired me. I'm coming back. Like, I'm just going to make the thing I want to make and then goodbye.
Yeah.
Because I read an interview with him recently where he said like, oh yeah, at the end of Avengers Endgame, when they had Thor join the Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, the fuck is this? Thor's not in my script that I wrote for Guardians. He's like, luckily the next Thor movie came out and they took care of that for me. But yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Can I ask you one more question about the Marvel movies?
Sure.
Samuel L. Jackson still in them?
Tim, he's got a new Disney Plus MCU series coming out.
The movies, you galoot.
He was in Captain Marvel. I think that was the most recent.
That was like 5 movies ago.
Yeah, no, it was more than 5 movies ago at this point. Yeah, it was a while ago.
And it was they hired a guy that looked like a young Samuel L. Jackson for that.
No, they used de-aging technology. But confusingly, that Samuel L. Jackson was a Skrull in disguise the whole time anyway.
All right. But the man was still there.
The man still had to, yeah.
This
so Samuel L.
de-aging
Jackson
technology. How does this work? Could I go in there and give a performance, and then they just put his young skin on my body?
They could, I'm sure, but I think it helps.
Get me to do it. I'll do it cheap.
Well, no, they can't put his skin. I thought you were asking if they can de-age you.
Oh, of course they can de-age me, Tom.
No, because
I don't know. I got a baby face.
Yeah, well,
people always think I'm younger than I am.
I think
I'm so immature.
I think it helps when they're de-aging somebody like Sam Jackson or Michael Douglas.
Mike
Douglas. Because they can get old footage of them from movies.
I got old footage of me.
From movies?
From, like, talent shows.
Yeah, well, they don't want somebody showing up in an MCU movie looking like an old VHS of a talent show. Like, why does that guy's face look so weird?
Well, maybe he's like a video guy.
A video guy.
He came out of the TV
he's
or something.
A young video guy.
Yeah, his origin story is he got trapped in a television, a CRT television
during a high school talent show.
Yeah, Tom, it wouldn't be the talent show. I would be doing, the script that they write.
But they'd have to explain why the character is always juggling or doing magic tricks or whatever.
That wasn't my
the technology,
Tim,
to change what you were doing doesn't exist.
Oh,
yet.
yeah, that's right. Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. I haven't seen the movie. I'm still excited to see the movie. I'm very curious because the reviews are so split.
Right.
I don't know if people were just kind of
split between reviewers who are like, this seems like a pretty good kids movie, and like, I'm familiar with the games, and it was nice that, like, I saw some references to things I like. And the other half have been like, this movie should have been made for me, not for these fucking kids who don't even respect.
Oh, really? No,
Super Mario
I
Brothers.
haven't seen those. I if anything, I've seen the opposite. I've seen people's reviews that are like, this movie is basically just a hour and a half long cutscene from a Mario game. 10 out of 10. And that's all I want. I don't want them to.
Well, why does it need to be a thing?
The movie, Tim, by the way, the biggest animated opening ever.
Yeah.
Movie.
They always say this, but it's also like
The ticket prices.
The ticket prices are so.
Yeah, well, people are willing to pay them.
Tell me how many people saw the movie.
They can't. They don't. For privacy reasons, they don't keep track of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see it. All right, we left off last time at Super Mario World, I believe. I think we briefly touched on Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island,
which I know nothing about.
Yeah, it was one of those games. I think it may have come out maybe when the Nintendo 64 was already out or like close to coming out. So it was like at the tail end where I think like people our age had already like moved on to PlayStation or whatever. Right. It was like.
Also, Yoshi is kind of like kid stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the one with the baby Mario.
Yeah. Baby Mario.
Baby Mario. Yeah, I think that's why it kind of like missed us. Because it was.
You know what I said? I said, "Miss me with that." Baby Mario, miss me with that. I did. I coined the phrase. I coined it. I was the first guy
in like 1995 or something.
Yeah, I was ahead of my time.
I guess it was like 97. I'm gonna guess was.
There's no way of knowing.
But it's crazy that they called it Super Mario World 2, and that didn't make it like an instant buy for everyone.
Yeah,
based on how popular Super Mario World was.
Yeah, I mean, Super Mario World came with the system.
But that was like the reason to buy the system.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the only game. Because it came with the system.
Yeah. No, with the game, when the system came out, they had Pilot Wings and F-Zero. Those are both cool games.
F-Zero, if you're into F-Zero, you're... Come on, enough.
What do you mean, come on, enough?
You're a little too into video. You know, like, go outside. Join a team sport.
What? Why can't people be into F-Zero?
F-Zero is for, dare I say... scumbags.
What? I've never heard that before, Tim.
F-Zero, come on.
I thought you said only Sega was for scumbags.
That too.
So you think there were like
you know what? It should have been a Sega release.
A lot of Sega fans that went out and bought a Super NES and they're like, "You can keep the Super Mario World. Can I get F-Zero?"
Pretty much.
I don't remember actually liking F-Zero all that much, but Pilot Wings was sick.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it was such a
sort
fun
of plane
game.
Thing.
Yeah,
there's two plane references right there in the title.
Pilot Wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, what's this game about?
It's about that little pin that you wear.
Read the title of the game. It was like
Tom.
What?
I'm going to go on a plane with...
Tim, that's not a good enough reason to excuse me.
With my toddler son in a couple days.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to meet the pilot and like get a thing?
My niece recently met the pilot. Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently like the pilot even was like, "Would you like to sit in the seat of the plane?" This was before they took off. And she was like, "No."
Yeah, I think my son will be like, no, all done. That's what he says when he doesn't want to do something.
That's what you say when you don't want to do something too. At the end of every episode, Tim says, "All done."
The end of every meal too. I just put my hands up and go, all done.
And you make me take your plate away, wipe you up,
wash my hands.
But I could see as a kid being intimidated to sit in the pilot seat. It's like, oh, want to sit here with a million buttons? And if you come even close to touching one, somebody's gonna be like, "Ah!"
Either that, or she's like, I don't know how to fly the plane. Like she probably misunderstood the ask there,
right?
Like,
he's not asking you to fly the plane. Just sit in the seat. We know you don't know how to fly the plane. You're a 4-year-old girl.
Yeah. How about a 4-year-old boy would know how to fly the plane, Tom?
It depends on the boy.
I bet Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger at 4 years old.
4-year-old grandson or whatever, you could chuck him in the seat, even during an emergency. Take care of it. That whole family, cool as cucumbers. But yeah, Pilot Wings and whatever, the F-Zero. But what we neglected to mention when we were talking about Super Mario World.
Super Mario World.
And the Super NES. Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's a me, Mario.
And I'm driving a cart.
So that debuted on the Super Nintendo.
Yes. Yeah, the first one was for Super Nintendo. And now they're up to 8. I think is the one on the Switch.
A fabulous game, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have for future generations overshadowed the other games, right? This is a party game.
At the time, for sure. I remember when it came out, it was a big deal.
Who?
Hmm?
Who is your
Oh.
guy? Who's your go-to racer?
I think it's probably Luigi, just because I like the character Luigi.
Yeah. Lou guy.
Lou guy.
Also because he's lanky.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
real
exactly.
goof.
I could relate to him. He's scared of everything.
Yeah. My brother,
Hmm.
it's a Toad man.
Oh, yeah. I think Toad had one of the best top speeds, but slow acceleration.
See, this is the thing. This is what I don't like about everybody.
About
Like
these
I don't
games.
like that people have strategies. Like, oh, this guy.
It's
like,
not a strategy. It's how the game worked.
I know, but
It's
people.
why you could pick your character.
I know, but there's an objectively best character, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I think Mario's the best, all around, which makes sense. But
I would play the field a little bit, but more often than not, I'd go with Yoshi.
Yoshi. Oh, yeah, Yoshi is pretty good, too.
But I didn't want to have to do the let's do the cost benefit analysis of
Yeah.
all their just
it was kind of up to your style.
But what does that mean? Your style?
Well, I remember.
People can drift and stuff. I
yeah,
can't do any
I
of
think
that.
Bowser had the.
I hold down the gas button.
I think Bowser maybe had the best top speed, but was slow to start. So if you were good, if you knew the course and you didn't crash a lot, then sure, that would be the guy for you. But if you crash a lot, then you want somebody who can accelerate quickly to get you back up, back in the race, so to
Right.
speak.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it wasn't crazy strategy.
I know, but some people like to build it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We also skipped over the NES release, Dr. Mario.
Tom, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Because they were like, what can we do? We gotta insert Mario into kind of the Tetris type world.
Yeah.
And,
I think it was around when Tetris and the Game Boy came out. It was huge. So it was I think Nintendo was we need something like this for the NES.
And they could have beefed it.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, oh boy, it's like Tetris, except there's an added element of matching colors.
Yeah.
And then all the while you got Mario and a stethoscope and one of those circle things, reflective circle things on his head.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's just for light.
Okay.
That it's redirects light if they're looking at things.
Doctor's coat, and he's throwing the pills. It's a great game
Yeah.
on the NES.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of. We had an enclosed indoor porch when I was a kid. It's now an outdoor porch. Tom, that my
Yeah, I was
parents
going to
had.
say, Tim, you're lying. I don't remember that.
But I remember got a lot of play on the
Wow,
porch.
they went from an indoor porch to an outdoor porch?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think you see that transition often. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah, the indoor porch was a little trashy, and it was just full of it was full of crap because it was
you
our
could get
playroom
rid
a
of
little
the
bit.
crap.
I know, but there was no good reason to have
Yeah,
it. They
yeah.
want to sit outside.
Right.
My mom
Mm-hmm.
sits on the porch a lot,
Yeah.
making conversation with whoever's walking by.
I mean, it's in the backyard, isn't it?
No, it's in front.
Oh,
front.
the front
Yeah.
porch was an indoor
Yeah.
porch. Oh, okay.
So that's a weird thing to have,
that is
right?
weird. Because it's not like a deck. It's just like
Right.
a porch.
And that's where our TV was. That me and my brother were allowed to we had.
So it's just
reign over.
people walking down the street would just see you two boys playing Dr. Mario.
Yeah, I mean, but it was an enclosed porch.
But enclosed with windows?
Yeah,
Okay, then they'd be able to see you through the windows still.
the way that you can see anyone through a window.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, but it's just people can see us right now doing it through
No,
this
they
window.
can.
There's
We're
a
not
window right
We're
there.
not close enough to the window. I think you guys were pretty close to the window.
I don't think you know the setup of
Are you
it.
having
We sat on the
having
floor.
a sneezing anxiety attack?
Tom, I don't like this line of questioning. Let's move on.
All right, Tim, we talked about Dr. Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
I think that wraps up the 8-bit and 16-bit era, right?
Yeah, and Mario Kart they just brought in to 32-bit, 64-bit.
That there was no 32-bit system. Tim.
Well,
Check your-
not that you know.
My
My uncle
uncle.
worked for Nintendo, and he told me about one.
Yeah, and he had one. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I think technically, actually, the Virtual Boy might have been 32-bit.
Yeah, gave everybody a headache.
It did. I had a Virtual Boy. Can you believe that?
You have one now.
Yeah. Well, it's at my mom's house, so I don't have it now. But I'll never forget. That was like
Virtual Boy.
one of the best days of my life because the Virtual Boy came out and it was like, this thing looks sick. Like, this looks like such a cool thing, but not very practical and very expensive. And then I feel like it was like 6 months later, I walked into Blockbuster Video one day and they were selling their rental Virtual Boy for $19 and I bought it. And it
It's
didn't
all
have-
in red, right?
It's all in red. It didn't come with the stand, so you just kind of had to like put it on the table
right.
to play it. But it was fun. The tennis game was fun. There was a Mario tennis game,
Yeah,
and
but
that was
how
like pretty
fun
much
was
the only
it?
thing I
Not that
really
fun,
played.
yeah.
It was fun for the 10 minutes before you got a searing headache. It was neat technology at the time.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Probably worth the rental from Blockbuster.
Right.
Probably not worth the buy.
It was worth the buy for $20. I think that was the same price to rent it for a weekend.
Yeah.
So I was happy about
Tom,
that.
can we take a step back to Dr. Mario for 1
Sure.
second?
You got to go back to that enclosed porch.
Yeah, where we played for hours and hours, and it was like match the colors or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then they announced, "Hey, I started seeing commercials. Dr. Mario's coming to the Game Boy.
Oh, yeah.
The Game Boy,
Mm-hmm. Black and white.
black and white. The Game
like
Gear commercials
green
called
and
it
black.
like the color of creamed corn or something.
Yeah. Which is like, ew.
Yeah.
And a bunch of kids made TikToks of themselves burning their Game Boys, throwing them in the trash.
And everyone in America was thinking, how the hell are they going to pull this off? How the fuck are they going to pull this off?
Everybody in America was like, you know what? I've seen Nintendo pull a lot of things off, but this time they bit off more than they can chew.
Mario, I'm sorry. You're going to choke on that big piece of steak. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Patterns. They did it.
They did it. They figured it out.
Yeah. Shades and patterns,
Which
baby.
is no easy feat considering I think that screen was like 8 pixels by 4 pixels
Yeah.
to get any kind of pattern in there.
It was great.
Yeah.
Tom, just as good as the NES version.
I remember there being a lot of rumors at the time, very stupid playground rumors that the Game Boy could actually do color and they were going to come out with games later that would have color in them, which they did, but for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah. Did you have a Game Boy Color?
I did. I think I had pretty much every Game Boy because I was.
You had every system because you guys were.
No, I was very good at a young age of like flipping things, which actually now I really regret because I don't have my original Game Boy.
Right.
But I remember like taking my Game Boy to like Funkoland or whatever, getting a Game Boy Pocket, which was cool.
It's a smaller Game Boy.
Smaller Game Boy.
Okay.
I think it ran on 2 AAA batteries instead of 4 AA's.
That was a concern at the time.
Oh, it was a huge concern. I think it ran longer too. So it was like, actually, it makes financial sense to get this.
You make a PowerPoint for your parents. Like.
Yeah.
Also, you participated in a lot of commerce.
Mm-hmm. As a child.
Yeah, without parental involvement, which always confused you. Like, you were flipping things and
Yeah.
making deals.
Yeah, I was putting stuff on eBay at like 10 years old.
It was one way for me. I would ask my parents to buy me something. They'd either buy it for me or not.
Yeah.
And you were able to get all these things because you're like, all right, they bought me this one, but now I'm going to spin this into four other endeavors.
I was always wheeling and dealing
Yeah.
to get the newest Game Boys. And then I remember getting the Game Boy Color, and actually that one being like a little disappointed, being like, yeah, maybe enough with the Game Boys.
I got a Game Boy Color somewhere in my
I do
my
remember
apartment right now.
Metal Gear Solid for it, and that was awesome.
I had Donkey Kong Country.
Oh yeah, they came out with those games for it.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country, a whole other topic for another time. But what a fantastic game!
Might be the best Super Nintendo game.
It might. I mean, it's probably the best looking
Yeah.
for sure,
And gameplay.
and very good gameplay. Yeah,
And sex appeal.
and sex appeal. Donkey and Diddy.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Super Mario All Stars last week?
Yeah, the Lost Levels.
Oh yeah, Lost Levels. But I remember when that came out too. What a time to be alive. It was just that was like I think that
When you're a kid, you can really get excited about repackaged material with a little bit of new stuff.
and it was before video games were really doing. Now it's like it's just like everything else where everything is like, oh, it's a remaster or a remake.
Right.
But this was really the first time a major release was kind of like a remake, and you were getting 4 games in one.
Yeah,
So that
for
was
a
a-
slightly higher price.
Yeah, right. It was a little bit more
I think
than a
so.
regular
I
game.
wasn't. I think the word came down from my parents. Like, we bought these games for you already. From what I understand, it's like
Not
no,
the
the
Lost
Lost Levels.
Levels.
Yeah, they're like, Tim, you don't need, you give up.
Your father has a business trip to Japan coming soon. He'll get you the Lost Levels then.
I wish.
I remember Mario or Super Mario All Stars came out when maybe we were like 11 or 12. Me,
It had Super Mario Brothers,
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels. I drooled on myself. I'll say, what happened to me?
You're also getting like a whistle when you talked.
As
Tim's,
I was
Tim's
talking,
dentures have popped out. We have to pause for a
my
minute.
mouth was just filling up with saliva for
Wow,
unknown reasons.
a mouth-watering game for Tim.
Yeah.
I remember at this time when it came out, this was a friend of the show, Dan Deacon. He
Pause for applause. Is that what you're doing?
No. I was trying to think of how to explain.
Was your mouth filling up with saliva?
I was trying to think of how to explain what he did. I was going to say flip the script on birthday gifts, and decided he had like a regular kid's birthday, but he said to everybody, hey, instead of all of you getting me like a $10, $15 gift, what I want you to do is all of you go in together and get me Super Mario All-Stars. And it was like, wait, you can do that?
Dan was always
He was wheeling and dealing harder than
there
me.
are different paradigms that like he saw the world
Yeah.
in a different way as kids. I remember when he just figured out like if you get up and just like walk out of the classroom,
They can't do anything.
they can like punish you, but like it's just gonna be sitting in a classroom. You're gonna sit in a classroom anyway.
Yeah.
Or you can get up and walk during the day, just walk out of class.
Yeah.
What are they going to do to you? And ultimately, what does that mean for anything? Nobody cares.
Yeah, we all
Everyone's just gonna
graduate
go
on
back
time.
home to their families and be fine.
So yeah, he was the first one to do that. So then after that, like everybody started doing that. And I remember like people.
It's also funny that Dan was also like all he did was give annoying gifts.
Yeah.
Like remember when he just made a tape of those 2 lines from an Onyx CD looped over on like 2 sides of a 60-minute cassette tape.
I don't think I do
Gave that
remember
to
that.
Matt Nardi for his birthday. I've been struck by lightning and thunder while digging for gold in the tundra. It was just that over and over again for like an hour.
That takes a long time to do. So
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, that's a more thoughtful gift. But I remember people getting Star Fox as a gift. Another kind of like tail end Super Nintendo game.
All those games.
No, you were.
I only like the cartoony games.
I mean, Star Fox. You were an anthropomorphic fox.
Yeah,
flying.
and I'll tell you, the cover art looked,
Yeah.
but like the gameplay
No, when
wasn't.
you played it, because the guys would talk to you and they go. "Burr, burr, 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 burr,
Oh, really?
burr, 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 burr." Yeah, they were funny. There was like a frog guy and other guys. I can't remember what the other ones looked like. Just the frog and the fox. But anyway, Super Mario All Stars. All right, let's move on to the 60. We have 20 minutes left in the episode. Let's move on to part 2. 64, Mario 64.
Mario 64.
Now, I did not have a Nintendo 64.
Nor did I.
Yeah. My brother later got one, but he didn't have Mario 64, which was kind of crazy to me in retrospect. But this was like the time in my life where I was like, I had kind of gotten out of video games for a minute. You know what I mean? Like I was still
You?
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Can I just say
Mhm.
I got the lyric wrong from Onyx's
Okay.
Shifty. It's I got struck by lightning and the thunder, wilder than the shit from the tundra. No wonder.
Wow. And,
Over and over again.
and did Matt just really like that line?
No, I don't think so. I think Dan just thought
Dan
it.
really liked it.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Dan knew it would annoy him and it was
Yeah.
a birthday gift and
and he had already gotten Mario All-Stars.
yeah.
Mario 64. I mean, I remember when it came out thinking like that looks sick. I would like to have that. I would like to play that, but I'm not going to buy a Nintendo 64 just for that one game.
Right.
Because I think I already had a PlayStation and I was pretty happy with the PlayStation. So that wasn't enough to convince me to get a N64, unfortunately. But I keep meaning to, because they have the games on the Switch. I keep meaning to like go back and play it.
You know, the thing about that,
Yeah.
Tom, is like they're progress. Things are moving forward. Like I went back, I loved Donkey Kong Country.
Mm-hmm.
Started playing that on the Switch. I got that on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to play a new game, a better game.
A new Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
There's Tropical Freeze, which is supposed to be like phenomenal.
Which is like a port of like a 3DS game.
No, a Wii U game. I
Oh, Wii
believe.
U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The system nobody bought.
Well,
I mean,
you had to be a student at a university to.
I believe that you had to already have a Wii and you had to go to university.
Yeah.
Although that really worked out for Nintendo, I feel like that they made the Wii U, they made the Wii, which was like one of the biggest systems ever.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
when we were roommates, we made all of our roommates go in on a Wii.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was
It's how we
fantastic.
made friends. It's how we made our friend group.
Yeah. But so they had that huge Wii U, which nobody bought because
What
everybody was
Wii
confused.
U? I thought it was like I'd think of it as Wii University, which is like
Yeah.
what, it's a learning thing.
No, it's the new system, but it could play Wii games, I believe. But it was very confusing because it was like, oh, is this like an attachment for the Wii?
Call it the Wii 2.
Yeah, or give it a new name entirely.
Whoa.
But it
The
came,
Nintendo. Whoa.
it came with like a screen, like a tablet with a controller,
Yeah.
which is neat. But I think that also like drove the price way up.
Yeah.
I just remember I remember the Wii being like relatively inexpensive compared to the other systems.
Do you remember Wii release day, Tom? You and I traipsing all over New York City looking for
to
more
try-
controllers.
just to get more controllers.
We went to the Toys R Us in Times Square.
Yeah.
Like, which we shouldn't have been. We were nowhere near there. And
Yeah.
we had to cut the line of all the people.
Well, we like accidentally cut the line, and then it was like, oh, well, it's just not doing.
And all those people were trying to buy systems. We just
Right.
needed to buy accessories.
Yeah,
we
they had
weren't
tons.
like taken away from.
Yeah, once we got in, there were just like bins. I think we needed nunchucks. We needed like the
Yeah.
secondary controllers. So we like went and got a couple of those, and yeah, we didn't take anything away from anyone.
Heady times, Tom. Heady times.
The statute of limitation has passed. We can't get arrested for
We
that
killed a
now.
guy too that day.
We did kill a man, but again, the statute of limitation.
Shot him twice in the chest and then once in the head.
Yeah, and we took his nunchuck controllers. But I was gonna say, I think it really helped in Nintendo that, in retrospect, that like nobody bought the Wii U. So then when the Switch became a massive hit, they were like, "Oh, here's some other new games for it."
Right.
And so many people, it doesn't matter if they knew or not. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't buy Super Mario World 3D because I didn't have a Wii U. But anyway, Super Mario 64. Have you ever played Super Mario Sunshine?
No.
On the GameCube.
I have not.
That game's fun as hell. I don't know what my brother was doing because he's not real into games, but he had, when he was like younger, an N64 and then a GameCube. So he had a GameCube with Mario Sunshine. I think I might have borrowed that and played it on the Wii because the Wii could play GameCube games. The Wii was like essentially a GameCube.
Yeah.
That game's really fun. You have to suck up water and then shoot it at guys, and it's all like tropical islands.
The mainline Mario games are kind of just like the baseline quality games for the Nintendo
Oh
systems.
yeah, absolutely.
And like they're reliable. There's never a crappy mainline game, right?
No, there's never been like a bad.
Since Mario 2, there's never been a bad one.
Well, and I like that game.
It's not a Mario game, Tom.
Yeah. I would give.
Tom, listen to me.
I would give.
Not gonna do it. Right?
I would
That's
give
what
Nintendo.
George W. Bush said about it at the time.
Nintendo, I give the benefit
HW.
of the doubt where they made Super Mario Brothers. It was a huge hit, and they were like, "What do we do?" And they were like, "All right, for Japan, we'll just make more levels. Everything else will look exactly the same. And for America, we'll take a different game and make that Mario."
Yeah.
But then by the time they got to 3, it was like, "Okay, we know how to do this. We know how to make new games. We're not going to do any weird things like that anymore."
I think you made that exact same speech last week.
Great. Well, I just want to reiterate it. So after Sunshine was Super Mario Galaxy, which we had for the Wii U. And that was a super fun game where you were on the planets, remember?
I vaguely remember this. Wait, we had it for the Wii U?
We
No,
had
for
it
the Wii.
For the Wii, rather.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry. They had Super Mario and Super Mario Galaxy.
I remember Paul,
Yeah.
friend of the show, Paul.
Oh yeah, he was like
coming over
way
to
into
our
it.
apartment to play it and beat it. And I think I didn't play 1 minute of it. I'd like tolerated Paul until he beat it. And then I
Yeah.
was like, are you going to go?
And I think he started playing like Zelda Twilight Princess at our apartment a lot. And I think,
Yeah.
and I think
Remember
we
I came home from like bar, like nobody else was home. Like,
yeah, somehow
like-
he had come in.
yeah.
I think at that point, I think somebody did put their foot down and talk to him, and they were like, "Look, you have the money to buy a Wii for your home,
I think we might have been like, you can take this. We don't play it that much. Take it into your own home.
but just get out of our."
Yeah.
But that was around.
I got a girl in there.
That was around the time he bought a very expensive TV that he brought all the way up his stairs and then dropped down all the steps.
Did he? Classic.
Yeah, because that's why he got like banned from Amazon or something. Don't you remember? Like he
I
wouldn't
remember
order
he got
stuff.
banned from Amazon
I think that was why, because like
because he dropped a TV
he
down the
dropped the
stairs.
TV, and then I think he wanted them to like replace it, and they were like, no, and he's like, yeah, and then they like banned me. It's like, did you threaten to kill somebody? Is that why they banned you? But I also remember he got like an insanely expensive TV, and I remember him telling me, I think his like landlord came over. And his landlord was like, wow, nice TV. And he's like, yeah, well, guess how much it costs? And the guy said, like, an insanely high price. And he was like, no, it costs a lot more than that. And he was like, all right. And I remember having such a fucking argument with him about it, because it was like it was like when HD TVs were first like being a popular
Right.
thing. And I think you could get like not inexpensive, but like decently priced. But he bought like a very nice TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting so mad because I was trying to explain to him, like, you know, the Wii doesn't output HD and you don't have HD cable. You shouldn't have bought a $1,500 TV. You have
Right.
no content to play on it. And he was like, no, it makes everything look better. I was like, man, not really.
Tom, were we playing a Wii? Like all those Wii games when we were having people over making new friends.
Yeah.
Was that a CRT TV that we
It
had?
was, yeah.
Wow.
At least at first, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we eventually did get like a house
When
like,
Chris moved in, he had a couple of.
oh yeah, he brought one. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, I was thinking about that because I was like, oh yeah, I like a Xbox 360. I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 4, and I was like, oh, I guess I was playing on like a CRT.
Yeah.
CRTs now, by the way, big thing for retro gamers to get a CRT.
I mean,
TV.
I would love to when I'm playing Donkey Kong Country on the Switch.
Yeah.
It would look so much better on a CRT
Yeah,
than it does on
that's
my...
part of it. It kind of
yeah.
looks like those old games kind of look like shit on new TVs.
Yeah.
But you see them on an old TV, it's like, holy hell,
blurred.
that looks great.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, kind of a thing in like the retro gaming community now. And like, I wish some manufacturer was like, all right, there's enough demand. We're going to make like we're going to somehow make a TV to play retro games on that doesn't weigh 80 pounds.
Right.
And take up like, 10 cubic feet of room in your home. Super Mario Galaxy 2, I didn't play. Apparently very good. It's like some people's favorite.
Okay.
If you
Never heard of it.
For the Switch, Tim, they have Super Mario All-Stars for the Switch, and it's Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy.
The
pretty good
3D
package.
until I bought Odyssey and played it.
Which we're going to get to in a moment.
I couldn't figure out the
How to
3D
turn
Mario
it on.
worlds.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like it was too, I like a side scroller.
Yeah.
And I loved that, like, what I knew about Mario was like it's always going to be a side scroller. And then suddenly it was like, oh yeah, we're opening up
it's
and like
3D.
I couldn't control it. I'd always like run off the side of things like until I sat down. It's like Galaxy looks really nice. It's not like it doesn't have any weird polygons in it or anything. I'm gonna
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You know how like things look like the shapes look a little boxy on like Mario 64
Galaxy
and stuff.
looked good.
Galaxy looked like a cartoon, and I was like, okay, cool. And like I'm gonna focus on the dexterity that I need to like play this game the way that an 11-year-old would be able to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and I love it. So like maybe I can go back, but I kind of just always want to be looking to the next thing when it comes to video games.
I don't know. Those games are good.
Sure. I also don't have a lot of time.
Oh, well, let's also, I forgot to mention too, we kind of skipped over, they came out with...
I mostly like Jackbox games.
They came out with 2 different new Super Mario Brothers games.
Nude Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. I believe the first one was for the DS, and then the second one was for the Wii or Wii U.
What are you talking? Wait, you're going back to there?
So these are 2D games, Tim.
I recall this.
Yeah.
It was like,
but they're not great. They're just like kind of not as good. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I don't think Shigeru Miyamoto, the like creator, had much to do with
Can't
these
believe we haven't
games.
talked about him at all.
Yeah, what a fun guy.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Toad, who is a fun guy.
Yeah, the way I feel about that is like you can't go home again. You know what? Like we've moved on from there.
It's fun. You know what? But they did that with Sonic Mania. And Sonic Mania is a 2D Sonic game that's like phenomenal. It's so much fun. But they kind of did, I feel like with Sonic Mania, they kind of captured we're going to make a Sonic game that is like what you remember these games to be like more than what they actually are like, because they're better in your mind. And I don't know if they really did that with new Super Mario Brothers.
Gotcha.
Although there was a power up, there was like a really big mushroom in Super Mario Brothers, and Mario would take up the whole screen.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was fun as hell.
Yeah.
But they have at least one of those games on the Switch also. And Super Mario Maker. Do you know about these games?
Yeah, where people can just make insane levels and then
Make
post
levels.
the videos to the internet.
Now, those games I've played, I had one of those games for 3DS, and that it was fun. I never really got into like making games.
That's the thing. I think I would be like, oh, that's really cool. And then like 5 minutes into making one, I'd be like, I would like somebody else to make the game
Yeah.
for me, and I'll play it.
Well, and that's the thing. I remember, I think it came out on Wii U, and obviously I didn't have a Wii U, but then they came out with a 3DS version, and I did have a 3DS. And it came, I think, with like 100 levels that were like actually very fun. Like it was worth it. But the 3DS, you couldn't download. I forget how it worked, but I think you couldn't download new levels. Whereas that was kind of the thing with the Wii U version that was like, oh, people can upload levels and rate them and all this. So you can just like go online and get new levels all the time. It's kind of like an endless game, which like, if I think about if I had shown a 10-year-old version of myself this, they would be like, why aren't you just playing this 24 hours a day? This is the dream. But fun games.
Yeah.
I think there's one for the Switch.
Yeah, there is.
Super Mario 3D World. Now, this is a Wii U game that then they put on the Switch.
Okay.
I haven't played it, but it's where you there's a cat suit that you get. Like you get a bell and you turn into a cat. And it is fun because Mario goes meow. It's very funny. I like it. But I haven't really played it.
Yeah.
I think maybe I played like a demo or something. It was fun enough. But let's get into Super Mario Odyssey, Tim.
Yeah, good game.
The most recent Mario game.
Yeah, is there going to be another one?
I don't think there will be another Odyssey.
New Donk City.
New Donk City.
There's songs. There's musical at points.
Yeah. I don't know.
You get a hat. You throw the hat and you can...
You always have the hat.
Yeah, but the hat has a soul now.
Yeah, which is kind of like a little troubling maybe.
Yeah, and sometimes the hat, you throw it at something else and your soul captures another body, so you embody that thing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, and I mean, in the like post 16-bit era, like for home consoles, not talking about handhelds, I guess it was only the Wii that got 2 Mario games. That got Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Nintendo 64 got the 1 game. Yeah. GameCube got 1. We got 2, Wii U got 1, and it seems that Switch is just going to get the 1, the Mario Galaxy. But hopefully, whatever's coming out after the Switch, they're going to make a
I would
Mario.
like them to just stick with the Switch. I bought a Switch, and I don't want to buy another thing. And I don't really play the Switch that much. I don't feel like I've gotten my money's worth yet.
Well, that's on you, not on them.
Well, I feel like video games are a waste of time whenever I'm playing them.
Well, then, Tim, you got to pick one. It's either a waste of time or you didn't get your money's worth. Or did you buy the Switch expecting it to make you money?
I expected it to make
You're
me
gonna
feel
rent it
okay.
out to the neighborhood boys.
I have a thing where, like, when I'm playing a video game, like, I'll dick around on my phone or watch trash TV and just be like, this is what life is, whatever.
Yeah, I'm being productive.
Well, not even being productive. It's just like, why do we have to be productive? But then when when I'm playing a video game, I'm just like, I think it's because I'm putting thought and effort into something, and it's like, why don't I do this in a way where I can? And like, this is the productivity trap of 2023. It's like, no, like I'm putting effort into it because I'm enjoying it, and like I'm like. The journey is the destination. It's like, I don't need to be like, oh, I could be doing this. I could be punching up my resume or like learning how to do a new skill that will benefit my employer or something.
Well, it's like, you're not going to do that. You're going to scroll Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Or watch like 12-year-old episodes of Party Down.
Yeah.
Because they're good.
No, that's what I think I've talked about on this show before, and it's like a constant battle with me where I try to do that at night to like actually unwind, like play a video game or watch a movie or a TV show that I like want to watch, because that happens to me all the time where it's like, oh, I'm not productive, and it's like, well, otherwise I'm just gonna look at my phone, or play like, oh, I feel guilty playing a video game for an hour, so I'll just play a game on my phone for an hour instead. That's like less I don't know, more engaging, but doesn't require as much like thinking or
Yeah.
whatever. And somehow that feels like not as bad. And it's a stupid way to be. It's a stupid way to live.
It is.
Enjoy yourself. Make time
Enjoy
for Tim.
yourself. Exclusively enjoy. You know what I would like to do? I have the Mario Kart for
The
Switch.
Yeah.
I would like to play people online.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom, do you have it?
I have it. I don't subscribe to the online service.
I can't figure out how to stop subscribing to it. I started subscribing during the pandemic, during like the early days.
Yeah.
And I can't find the menu where I can
I
stop
think it's
it.
only $20 a year, so it's
yeah.
fine.
And I get an email like once a year. And I'm like, fuck, I haven't used it in the last year, so I'm going to start using it. Hey, reach out to me, listener. You got this. Let's start racing. Let's start doing Mario Kart. What do you mean?
First off, you're not going to do that. Second off, you will be able to figure out how.
Yeah, I connected with a friend of the show, Jeff.
Yeah.
He had to send me this like long
Yeah,
code.
they make it very inconvenient to play against
We'll figure
people.
it out. DM me.
It's like
I'm not on Twitter anymore.
It's like a 12-digit like.
Bully me through Reddit or Instagram.
Yeah.
Find me there and let's play Mario
Post it
Kart.
on our Discord. Post your friend code.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did I say Instagram? I meant Discord.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah. Hey, hop into that video games channel on Discord.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And let's get a Mario Kart game going.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
a
I
league.
will. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah, it'll
I'll-
be fun, Tom.
I mean, I think I could sign up for a month and play.
yeah.
Yeah. All
You
right.
could expense it to then we expense it from the corporate account.
Now you're talking.
And join the Patreon. That's where your money will be going. So me and Tom can play video
Mario
games with
Kart.
you guys.
I mean, like, I think it's like $20 a month, or like, or $20 a year, or like $4 a month.
Yeah.
It's really not that much money. But anyway, what a beautiful segue into the plugs. TCGT.com. You can find all the information about the show. If you like the show, you can find all our social media links there, including our Discord link, as Tim mentioned, our subreddit link, where you can bully us about the way we pronounce things. And check out our
It'll work.
Check out our Patreon. Hey, if you really want to bully us, go on Patreon. That's
we can't fight back there.
Patreon.com.
Say whatever you want to us on Patreon. We'll just be like, thank you, sir. Keep
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
your payment information updated, please.
Patreon.com/complete guide. Get new episodes of Books of Podcasts and all the old episodes. Over 40 books, more than you'll find in any library. And this week we're wrapping up Being the Bronte Boys. We read Wuthering Heights, and now we watched Emily, the movie about Emily Bronte.
Hot off the presses. I watched it the first day it was available for online rental.
Yeah, luckily I didn't realize. I thought it was like already out because it came out in theaters last year. But yeah, it just came out. So hey,
Talking about those release windows, huh?
yeah. So save yourself the money of renting the movie. Listen to us talk about it.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to experience any motion picture. Patreon.com/complete guide. Check it out.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I did buy another Mario game for the Switch.
Yeah.
Paper Mario.
Oh.
The RPG game. And I'm not an RPG guy.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, for a guy who's like, I don't have time for games, don't buy a role-playing game then.
Yeah.
I've been mean, like, there are so many role-playing games that I'm like, I should get into this game. And then I'll read people are like, this game's great. It took me 100 hours to finish it. It's like, what? No, I can't. All right, forget it. This isn't for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great to provide that kind of like spend $60 and you play something for 100 hours. Fantastic.
And I was looking at, like, it came out in 2020, I think.
Okay.
And, like,
because we had the Paper Mario for Wii.
Did we?
Yeah. Remember? Because we would play that
oh,
kind
the
of.
arms weren't really long. Or something.
Yeah, we would like kind of play that together. And it was a funny game.
Yeah. Well, I bought this one, and it was too scary. You know what? It was like the same month. I think it was like October 2020.
Okay. It was the same month that a lot of scary things were happening.
No, well, Halloween. No, it's like October 2020. It was the same time I watched Back to the Future 2. And it was like ahead of the 2020 election. And I was afraid that we were like creeping into fascism or something.
Yeah.
And the plot of this Paper Mario thing was like...
So the plot of the Mario game was a little too close to reality for you?
Yeah, essentially. It was like somebody like essentially fascists took over the kingdom and like
was
Mario
it
had to-
Bowser?
Yeah, but like the way he did it, like
Yeah.
you know, whatever. Pack the
Wow.
Supreme Court or something. I don't know. But like
Wait, he packed the Supreme
yeah,
Court?
like jammed through all these judges and but it was just kind of like this is dark and it depressed me.
Yeah.
I should revisit it now because it cost me $60 fucking.
Yeah.
And now that I've talked about it, can I write it off 3 years later as a business expense?
That's how business expenses work. But yeah, play it again. I mean, I'm
I
pretty
talked about this
sure.
vacation I'm going on in a couple days, right?
Yeah.
That's fodder for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he can write off the vacation. I don't think you have talked about the vacation on the show.
My son was going on a plane.
Yeah.
We might talk to at least
Oh,
the
right.
flight.
You might
yeah.
talk to. Oh, there you go. Right off
Yeah.
the whole family.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Good ticket prices on airlines are insane right now, Tom.
Yeah. Everything's expensive.
Thanks, Joe
Paper
Brandon.
Mario
Oh.
games cost $60.
And I was worried about creeping fascism. I should have worried
Yeah.
about inflation.
Yeah.
Should have welcomed the fascism.
Yeah, you should have bought up Switch games. So the new Zelda game, $70.
Which one? Breath of the Wild?
No, the new one comes out next month.
You know, I bought Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I've played it for like 4 minutes.
yeah, one of the best games ever made.
I know. And every once in a while, friend of the show, Jeff, it's like, hey, did you like the game? I was like, haven't opened it since like 6 months ago when you last asked me.
Yeah,
Opened it.
opened it.
I gotta get
Well,
out of the video
the
game
new one's
business.
coming out next month. You can buy that for $70 and
I
never
will
play
not, Yeah.
it. All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.